Hello everyone, welcome back. Today, I Shimash Bansal, co-founder at Law Community, is here with Abhinav Ramakrishna. He is executive member at Supreme Court of India. He is legal advisor at St. Xavier's College. He is a panel advocate with LIC Housing Finance Limited. He is standing counsel for PDIL. He has immensely working in Supreme Court of India from past 12 years, and we are here to know more about his journey and interact with him. Yeah. So my first question is, what factors influenced you to choose law as a career? How was your law school experience like?
See, while as a child, I always had a keen interest in the politics, and because when you grow up, you watch news, okay, and I had a habit of reading newspaper, and to be very frank, reading newspapers in the earlier days was a excitement because you had some positive news on the front, you came to know about what's happening around the world, and when gradually start with your advancement in your education, and so with the political development coming in the across the country, more particularly the post Rajiv Gandhi era, when the country was into most kind of political turmoil, you keep reading it, you develop an interest. So that basically there was a interest in politics. So to understand a politics, how the government works, you need to understand what is law, what is constitution. Then you hear about constitution. Then there was an inquisitiveness within for a debate on certain things. I had a habit of writing on these developments. So my father guided me through that. If you have such an interest, you can, if you argue, you have a habit to do a debate on something. Why don't you go in a right direction and do law? So I joined Symbiosis Law College in the year 2000, and we were fortunate enough to have a very good faculty who were more like a friend, guardian, and we never felt bored at any point of time in any point of the, you can say, career phase, sorry, study phase, like in the 5 years, be it in any year. We had a very good faculty, a very jovial minded faculty, so we never felt we still miss those days. We never knew how this period passed in 5 years. So there was always a learning process all throughout. We had a moot courts in college. uh, then there was other kind of, you can say, which, the giving of a brief for a moot court, symposiums like drafting and pleadings. So that was a very golden phase of the life in law college when you were there, and especially when you have a very good faculty.
So, after graduation, how did you pursue your career in law and what challenges did you face in the initial stage of your career?
See, to be very honest, while studying in Symbiosis Law College, Pune, I never had an interest of doing any kind of internship, which you normally see the students doing these days as a part of mandatory curriculum. So once we knew that post the education, you have to go and join the court, and that is a constant learning process. So there was never an inquisitiveness in me to go and uh, do internship. But after the law college was over, and there was a brief buffer period of 1 month from the results coming out. So when I came to Delhi on 20th of May 2007, I initially joined the office of Mr. Manish Kumar in the Bengali market. And that time our results were not out. So there was still a college guy in me which was not ready to give up the college attitude. So it was a bit difficult to adjust in the initial days. He was a thorough gentleman. He called me in the chamber and he reprimanded me that if this is your approach, then you cannot do anything in this profession. I took that as a positive note, and when my license were given by the bar council to practice, then I joined the chamber of Mr. Bharat Sangal, who is now the senior advocate in the Supreme Court. And he was a person who, right from the very first day, gave us a responsibility that this is a petition, you have to draft a reply on the behalf of the management or on the behalf of the labor. So he gave the work at the very initial stage. And since in the Supreme Court, all the works are on the English translations are to be done. So he used to give those things to us to all the juniors, so that you basically know what you have to do in this profession. What happens is initially that people come from the law college and they think that they are going to join some office and they become carry the brief. The senior will let them argue on the very first day. That is totally wrong. So what Mr. Sangal did, he first made us know how the court works. He assigned a clerk to us. He asked me to go with the clerk in the Supreme Court registry or any court, know how the internal process of the court goes on. And in the year 2007, it was with a mere honorarium kind of remuneration, 2,000 rupees, 2,500 rupees per month we started with. So gradually, when you start learning the things, you pick up the briefs, you go in the peak of the summers in the auto to the tribunals, go and simply carrying the file at that moment, let the senior see, learn how the matters are being presented. In the entire tenure of 13 years of my practice, I worked with various seniors, Mr. Bharat Sangal, Mr. Sanjay Sareen, Mr. Vinay Garg, Mr. Ajay Pal, who was the standing counsel for State of Punjab in Supreme Court. So these all seniors gave us leverage to go and argue the matter yourself with the gradually when they developed a confidence in you. The best platform which I got to argue was Mr. Sanjay Sareen. He is a very cool lawyer which I came across, who never bother what will happen with the matter if I've given a brief to the junior. Even if it is the worst of the result at the tribunal, he was always happy. Okay, since the order has come negative, we can always go to the upper court, and the client is with us. You have given me a business. So he was more angry when we used to get a positive result because you have disposed of the matter. The client has gone now. So I will now have to search for a new client. So that was a kind of a trust he used to have in the junior, never to get depressed with any dismissal order or anything. And even in the worst of the cases where in the Supreme Court will not get a relief, he used to send the juniors. I remember he sent me in a matter to argue before Justice Ashok Bhan. It was a very worst case of a rape of a minor. Justice Bhan said me, don't even utter a word. You know why I'm saying so. And he dismissed the matter. So that is where you learn. You go prepared every time. Even if the registrar court, this is what we learned. There was one registrar in the Supreme Court, Mr. S. G. Shah, who retired as a High Court judge of Gujarat. He always used to say, even if you are coming before the registrar, come prepared with your brief, know the facts, because nobody will teach you this. So these were the initial years in the Supreme Court, when initial 4 years I only spent in the Supreme Court.
So, uh, how different or challenging it is to become an individual law practitioner rather than working in a big law firm?
I was never ever interested in working in a law firm because you lose your individual identity. Because once you start working with a senior, gradually he will give you a platform, he will let you grow. He will just, as I told you earlier, my seniors used to give us a brief, go and argue the matter. That confidence building step, which every seniors will have to take, because somebody or the other is going to replace you in the future. So you are actually handing over the reign of the tomorrow in a responsible hand. If you don't trust them, then tomorrow the things won't work. What happens generally in a law firm is that there's a battery of lawyers who work on a case, and it is actually the seniors who represent. So you are behind the scene. But what actually happens is, while you're working in an individual lawyer's firm, you are interested with the drafting. You are sometimes even interested go and brief the senior. Though you might not be given opportunity to argue in something very high profile case or something high stake case, but still even the seniors recognizes your effort in this. I would like to recollect one occasion when I was asked by Mr. Bharat Sangal go and brief the then Solicitor General of India, Mr. Ghulam Manawati. It was initial 3 months of my career. So sir told me that you had gone with me with this matter one day. So you go to today also, Mr. Manawati has called, he has asked for certain explanation. And you go and clarify this. I took an auto from the Supreme Court and went, his office was in the Canning Lane. So I got misdirected, and so I called up his landline. And I never expected the Solicitor General himself picking up the call. He said, "Who is it?" I said, "I'm so and so." Well, what do you want? So I want this. So, well, why are you afraid in asking? I don't know why people have a misconception of seniors being a demon. So I went and briefed him. He was absolutely cool. In a similar fashion, I briefed Mr. Rodgi when I was almost 2 years in the practice, and Mr. Vijay Hansaria, senior advocate. So law firm doesn't gives you such exposure at a quick intervals. So as being an individual lawyer, you learn the responsibility yourself. It is you learn that this is my brief, it is my responsibility, and how I have to do better. So the sense of responsibility, the sense of the ambition to achieve something more goes. While working with Mr. Ajay Pal, who was a standing counsel for the state of Punjab in Supreme Court, he had two juniors only, myself and one of my present colleague. So my senior never used to come to the office. He told, "You are the only two juniors. You know how to deal with the state. You learn how to deal with the IS officers, IPS officers, how to represent the case of the state." And he gave us a full liberty in that thing. And I think in the year 2010-11, this was the year 2010-11, entire 1 year, two of us did n number of matters before all the bench in Supreme Court on the behalf of state of Punjab. And we were thankful enough that we got an opportunity to get reported cases before the Supreme Court. Our names being cited by the judges in the reported judgments. So that gives you immense confidence. So I personally asking, if you ask me, then I will always say that a lawyer should always at one point of time think of being an independent practitioner rather than being a law firm employee.
So, my next question is, looking at current pandemic scenario, how significant it has become for a lawyer to become tech savvy, and what are your views on virtual court system for hearings and e-filing?
Say, you buy a gadget today, you buy a mobile, you keep on updating it for a software, right? Because you think it's essential that I should have an updated my mobile software, Android or whether Apple based, or even your antivirus in your laptop, you keep on updating it. The thing starts from there. Yes, people were not used to it, this system. It was although in place, but that was never brought in force. It was always kept in an optional thing. It was never given an effective means of filing until the moment this entire scenario occurred of COVID-19. People found it difficult to adjust all of a sudden. I have done almost 22 hearings during this COVID-19. I also felt a bit handicapped. But once you do one e-filing, you understand how it has to be done. And yes, there are technical glitches in doing the e-hearings. For example, Supreme Court we are still really encountering with such problems. I myself, being a member executive with the Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association, is facing these issues every day, people complaining about it. Rather, on 15th of this month, I had 4 hearings. And unfortunately, in all these 4 matters, I could not log in at the proper time. The matters were passed over and I have to do it in the second round. So there are challenges. The technology has to be updated. It has to be made more competent at par with the foreign countries. Instead, if you see Delhi High Court hearings are rather more organized in the sense of e-filing and e-hearing. So the lawyers will have to learn at this stage, because learning at any stage is not a limitation. Because for learning a new thing, if it is for your means of survival, then you will have to learn it. There is no option left for you. Yes, I know some certain lawyers, our brother colleagues, are not that well to do to have such a expensive gadgets. We do feel sorry for them. In fact, I had made a representation by way of a PIL before the Honorable Supreme Court, wherein I asked for the framing of a uniform policy during not only for the COVID-19, but also for the future situations wherein lawyers should be taken care of, because they're handicapped today. Had this situation not been there, no lawyer would have even asked for a penny from the Bar Council or anything. But now it is the responsibility of a Bar Council to train all the lawyers irrespective of the ages, and set up certain machineries within the court premises where they can go and do their filing. Just as Delhi High Court initially, if we go to have, if somebody has an experience of working in a Delhi High Court, the e-filing system is still there, was there, because when we used to physically file the petition, they were mandatory to be scanned. So now what is there? You have to yourself scan the papers now. So it is a need of an hour. People have to get adjusted to the technology.
So, what significant changes would you like to see specifically in litigation which can improve the workings of the courts?
See, in litigation is the most tedious task, and there are too many law colleges in India, and especially I concentrate to myself to the metro cities, and the schools which are there in the metro cities, which I personally feel they basically train the students who are studying for getting an employment into MNCs, law firms. And I have rarely seen any law student who is coming here that they are saying that I want to go to a trial court and see how it functions in internship. Everybody wants to come to the Supreme Court or a High Court and see the working. You want to have a certificate from the lawyer who is working in a Supreme. Yes, I worked in a Supreme Court with such lawyer. These were the SLPs I drafted and this. But basic thing people forget is the foundation. This is a mistake I did. So I realized that no, there was something lacking. You should start your in the internship with the trial court. You should know what is a trial. Your procedure, your foundation is your trial. You cannot make an appeal or you cannot argue an appeal unless until your foundation for the trial is not clear. There was law college student who came to join me as an intern. In fact, three. So I gave all three of them a same brief based upon a check bouncing. Suppose a check is bounced, you file 138, you file forgery and a summary suit. So the facts remain the same. So there was one guy, two guys and one girl. So one guy, I asked him, tell me, have you read the file? Yes. So what is the validity of the check? So he took it so casually, and can you imagine the answer he gave? Sir, जब तक बैंक खुला हुआ है. Can you imagine a law student taking an answer which is put by a senior in such a casual manner? So there is no seriousness. So for making a litigation grow in India, there has to be an honest and sincere effort by the future generations. You must understand what is trial. You must know not only the filing, how to file, you must know how the court functions. You must know, if you want to excel in the litigation, you must know your courts very well. If you know the courts very well, your file don't get stuck up. You must know how the filing is to be done. What's the procedure? The more and neat and clean your file is, the more is your impression before the judge. Because if your file goes with X number and X, Y, Z corrections at each and every page, then your impression as a lawyer goes off. Second thing, your drafting should be very good. You must have a command on your language. The future law students must know that what you draft is your case, not what you argue is your case. What you put on your paper is your case, because the judge actually reads that paper and then only he makes up his mind. He is not coming with a fact where you listen your oratory skill. Your oratory skill comes second, because what you are saying is, if it is not on your paper, it is going to damage your case. So it is my sincere advice that all the law schools, and including the students who are studying there, must sincerely give a serious thought on improving their drafting skills. Because if your drafting skill is good, you will have a very good prospects in future. Because if you are practicing on a civil side, it is your drafting skill which is going to help you out. On the criminal side, the drafting is not too much, it is the oratory skill.
What advice or suggestions you would like to give who have just started their career in law and the people who are still studying?
The basic mantra is the patience. Have patience. See, There's a proverb that if somebody has drawn a line before you, then do not try to rub that line. Make an effort to make a longer line before him. So we have seen in our lifetimes many legal stalwarts like Mr. Harish Salve, Mr. Fali Nariman, Mr. K.K. Venugopal. They are at their place today because of their hard work and because of their dedication in this profession. There was no shortcut. So if some law student who comes and pass out today and say thinks that he can become Fali Nariman or any XYZ legal immunity on the day one and expects that he should be given XYZ remuneration on the day one, then he should think over it twice. It is the patience which is going to get you ahead in life, because litigation is one field wherein the graph keeps on coming up and down. It is at the very end of it is at the very after very long practice, your graphs keep going up and up and up. But one must remember that litigation is like a prayer. You and court is like a temple, and you are a priest. So the more well organized way you conduct your prayer in the temple, the lordships are going to be more kind enough to give you some prasad in form of relief. So this is the basic mantra for the litigation. I am seriously not a kind of lawyer who like to remain in the back room and excel my legal practice, because if you have studied law, your responsibility comes also for the society. Maybe your effort to file a PIL does have not yielded a good result, but it is your effort which is acknowledged. People know the softer side of you, your bar, your fellow colleagues. This is what makes a legal profession a noble profession. So my advice to the youngsters who are coming in this profession is that come with an objective, have patience, and work hard.
So, how can an organization like Law Community prove beneficial to the legal fraternity? And what new avenues are expected by legal professionals such as yourself?
See, your organization can coordinate between the law students who have joined recently. You have been surely conducting these kind of interviews with other lawyers. You must be having your own database. You can share it with them that this is what is the view of different lawyers about this profession after having spent these many years in the profession. This is their advice to you. You can help them. Somebody would not be that well off to have approached some very good law office for a internship, but though he might be a talented guy, there are nepotism in this profession also. If you go to some senior advocates who are well off, or like to see who has recommended you, which I personally feel is not a right approach. You should give an opportunity of your precious knowledge to be spread to all the people. And somebody who is knocking your door with an expectation to learn something from you, you should not have shut that door upon him. So your community, your organization can guide those students who are really desirous in working with some serious law houses and honest law houses and doing good in the life. You can guide them to a right path. You can guide them to a right person. This is how you can contribute in this legal profession. Because sometimes contributing is not only by way of arguing. Contributing is also by way of showing the future generation a right way to walk.
Thank you so much, sir, for having such an amazing
It's my
insight.
honor.
It will definitely gonna benefit lot of young mind people, and we are definitely going to follow your footprints. And we are delighted to have a time with you. Thank you so much, sir.